All right, welcome to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. I'm your man, Big Jack. This is where we prove we are stronger together, that if each one would reach one, we can all grow and glow. Today is another beautiful day. We are out here chilling. It's summertime. I feel like summertime because school is starting to get out. And a lot of students are now out for the summer, and the temperature is high. And we've had discussions before about the summer and protecting your skin and the weather and things like that. But this time we're going to have a little bit of different conversation. We're going to change it up a little bit, but it's still in the related world because it's still going down that some form of protecting yourself and a freedom and making sure that you're secure and safe, and it's going to be related around finances. But before we get started and roll into the show, we just want to thank you all for being with me today on the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. And I'm going to bring my partner on the stage. So let me get him up on the stage. Let's get him up here, and we're going to get the rocking, getting the rolling. Give me 1 second. All right, my man. What's up, bro? How you doing?
My man, what's happening? How you doing, sir?
Oh man, it's all good. It's all good. It's a beautiful day, hanging
Beautiful
out.
day in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the weather was good today. It was
Yes, sir.
not too hot, but it had some little flavor, a little steam on it today. But can't
Look,
complain.
man. Look, I don't want to hear it. And I've been telling everybody the same thing. You would not you, but hey, when somebody complains about the weather, you were the same person in January complaining about the cold. So bring the heat on and
Yeah.
bring the thunder, the lightning, the heat, the humidity, the hazy, hot, and humid. I'm for all of that. Bring all of that to me.
Right,
The
right.
golf course is empty between 10 and 2.
Mm,
11 and 3 is empty because everybody's out trying to duck the heat. So yeah,
I
sign me
got
up
you.
for all of that, man. Keep the
Hey,
cold weather.
you
Yeah.
know what? I haven't been out. I haven't been out in a while.
Mm,
It's been, oof, I can't even. I think it's been like 2 or 3 months since I've been out on a
yeah.
course, and that's not
Yeah.
like me because I like to get out and
Yeah.
hit the ball, and if nothing else, is hit the ball. But
Yeah.
I appreciate you throwing those times out. And our next show, I think Sunday, which is Father's Day, we're definitely going to have a good conversation on the golf side of the world.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we got a great show heading out today. I do see
Mm-hmm.
that our guest was able to fix their technical problems, which is good.
All
So
right, my
we're
man.
good. We're good to go. So I see that he's down there hanging out, and we're gonna get him up on the stage. But the question I put in the chat today. So in the chat, if you're on YouTube, you'll see in the chat there's a poll going, and for those who are going to be coming in, is where do you feel yourself, or how do you feel yourself as far as your financial security? Do you find yourself, is it less than 25%, or between 25 and 50%, 50 and 75%, or 75 to 100%? So if I was to throw that question at you, Walt, talk as far as your financial security, or how financial security you feel, what will be
Uh,
your neighborhood?
I, I feel like I'm okay, but I know, I mean, like everybody else, I'm one major emergency, one sickness, one illness away
Mm,
from, having to make serious adjustments. I mean, as a matter of fact, funny you mentioned this. I've been on the phone all day with Xfinity and ADT and my cell phone people and who else? Just everybody, man, just negotiating my prices,
mm,
my rates because you pay everything auto pay. The car wash. You don't realize how much stuff you just pay for automatically. So I've been doing not a financial cleanse, but just tightening just checking my expenses. I've been doing that all day.
mm.
Then I rode my motorcycle for about 2 hours, and I came in and get ready for this, man. But hey, man, the train keeps running. I'm okay, but life happens. You just prepare for the rainy day because it's going to rain eventually. So
Right, right. That's going to rain.
yeah. But everybody, I mean, I don't know anyone who says I never worry about it. I mean, I don't worry about finances, but I know that life happens and things can change. So I feel like I'm in a pretty good place. I feel like I'm on schedule. but there's always more that I know I can do. And today that was part of that,
Whatever.
just
Okay.
tightening up some things, man. So
All right.
it's ironic that here we are today, getting ready to have this discussion, I guess,
Well, yet it is. So because of that, and that was a good lead or segue into us, and we're gonna go ahead and get our guests up on the stage so we can have a deeper conversation on this topic. So with all that being said, let's bring our guests up to the stage today.
Great.
All right, my man Nefty Mendiola, how you doing, sir? Welcome to the Sharpening Iron Show, my brother. How you doing?
Nefty.
I am great. Bill, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you
Yes,
loud
sir.
and clear, sir. Loud and clear.
Walt, how are you, boss?
I'm doing well, sir. How you been, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Everything good?
I'm great.
My man.
I
Good.
spent some time in Southeast Asia for about 4 months,
Oh, wow.
and I'm heading back the next week, Bill. I'm going back to Manila next week. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
look, we're gonna talk about your trip over, and what country was you in?
Well, of course, I'm Filipino.
Okay.
So I was born and raised in Manila, Philippines, right? So I have a home there. But we were there from November until March last year. And from Manila, my wife and I went to Thailand, Bangkok.
Okay.
We spent some time in Bangkok, Thailand, and also we flew to Vietnam.
Okay. Wow.
We spent a few weeks in Hanoi and Da Nang, Vietnam. I tell you, Walt and Bill, right? If you have not been in that side of the globe,
I have not.
Please make a point to go. It's beautiful.
Right. Yeah. When in my military time, I was stationed in Korea, and I did take a trip to Japan. So as far as on that side, that's the most the only places I've been. But my wife was in Singapore and Thailand last year, so she went out there. So she have already told me I gotta go. So and then you mentioned it to me before that I gotta go. So I guess we're gonna have to book a trip and going out there because I heard the golfing is really nice out there.
Yeah.
The golfing is very different back in the Philippines, Bill and Walt, right? I mean, over here we do everything on our own, right? Over there they're spoiled. They have caddy, right?
Right.
The only time you touch your ball, your golf ball, is on a drive with a tee box.
Wow.
After that, you kind of do everything for your Bill.
All right. Wow. Yeah, I would be spoiled. 100%.
They even ask you, Walt, okay, Mr. Walt, should I line the ball for you? Or do you want to line the ball by yourself? Like, no, line my ball. It's your course, right?
Yeah, show me where to putt. Show me where to putt. I have a few friends that's been to Thailand in the last 2-3 years, man. I know probably 7-8 people that've been to Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah, so on trips, so I guess that's the new hot spot for especially people on this end. But yeah, I could use that, man. Maybe that'll keep me from 3-putting. No 3 putts if they line up.
Yeah, that'll help a lot.
Yeah, well, again, right. The great thing about Southeast Asia, right? We earn dollars, so our money go a long way there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If you know what I'm saying, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, yes, the way it is, and I'm just thankful that my business is portable. I can be anywhere in the world and still, work, continue my business. Yeah.
No, that's really good. That's really good. So Nefty, as we get ready, we're starting and we're moving, but can you introduce yourself to those who might be coming into the chat and all, so we can know who this person is we're talking to, and what about who is Nefty?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Bill.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's an honor to be here. It's so funny, Walt. I met Bill at Glade Valley, I would say 5 years ago. Right, Bill?
Yeah.
You were there with your son, and you're playing golf, and I joined you guys. And I've been friends with Bill ever since, right?
Yeah.
So that's how we met. Well, me personally, Bill, Walt, I was born and raised in Manila, Philippines. I came here back in the early 80s. My father worked for the embassy back then. So when I came here, I was 14 years old. So I went to high school in Virginia, in Falls Church, Virginia, and that was what 40 plus years ago. Back in 1990, I met my amazing wife in DC. My wife is Persian, and now we've been married for 31 years.
Wow.
We have 4 amazing children. Well, they're no longer children, Walt. My youngest is 23.
Yes.
So I have a 23, 24, one girl, 27.
Okay.
And 30 years old with two grandkids.
All right. Well, congratulations.
And again, been married for 31 years. I think the last job I held, Bill, I was 23 years old, right? I've always worked hard. I worked from the age of 14 until about 23. I've always worked hard. At the age of 24, that's when I launched my first business, right?
Okay.
And I just never looked back. So I've always been a business guy since the age of 24. I'm now 58 years old. So it allowed me to take care of the kids. I mean, Walt, 4 kids, right?
Hey, man. That's
And
a lot.
I raised all of them here in Frederick, Maryland.
Okay.
So I remember one time, Bill, I was driving them to school. I drive one to Crestwood, one to Tuscarora Elementary, and one and to the high school. So I was going crazy every morning and the afternoon. And then, of course, after school, we have golf. All my boys played golf.
Right.
My 27-year-old girl back then, she was playing volleyball. So I never miss a golf game.
Wow.
I never miss a volleyball game. And that's because, again, right, I've always been a business guy, and I just put family first, right? So that's pretty much it, Bill. I mean, again, right now I'm 58 years old. My daughter got engaged last month, so we have a wedding next year.
That's an event.
And I'm going to Georgia, Walt, this weekend to spend Father's Day there. And also on Sunday, get this, my youngest boy is 23. He's proposing on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
To this girl that's been dating for 3 years.
Okay.
It's happening on Father's Day, which is very special.
Right.
And that's why I'm going to Georgia. So after that, I come back here, and then the 23rd, I fly back to the Philippines to take care of business. And I'm there for 3 months. Come back in September.
Wow.
So that's the lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
And again, I really it's always my wife, right? My wife's amazing. She's Persian, not Filipino. And she just she kept me straight all these years.
Right. Hey, there's definitely nothing wrong with that. So now, what type of business do you have now, or what would be your, I guess, your specialty or expertise?
Well, again, I was in finance for 20 plus years, right? Although 2.5 years ago, I've always knew that I want to start a business back home in the Philippines. We have brilliant kids back home. When I say kids, they're in their 20s, right? Everybody speaks English back in the Philippines, unlike Thailand or Vietnam, right? So I was told, how can I marry the brilliant kids back home in the Philippines to my network here in the US? So what I did 2.5 years ago, I launched a virtual assistant agency in Manila. And that blew up. So now we have clients globally, and we have about 60 plus VAs in the Philippines.
Okay.
So we have clients in the US, in Canada, Australia, UK, pretty much globally. Yeah.
Wow.
But the best part of this, right? I was able to provide amazing jobs for these brilliant people back home in the Philippines.
Oh, wow.
That's the best part of it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Now, you said it's virtual assistants. So help me understand that. Maybe I'm missing something.
Okay, for example, let's say you own a business, Bill, right?
Yeah.
And you call me, hey, Nefty, I want to scale. I want to use social media to scale my business, right? That's when we come in. So we assign a VA to you. She can manage your social media. She can help you with admin work. she can pretty much do anything for you that a local EA can do for you here in the US.
Wow.
But there in the Philippines, it's all virtually done, right? It's all virtual.
Right.
But the cost is one fourth of how much you will pay here in the US.
Wow.
That's the advantage, right? So we're
Right,
able
right.
to help these business people here and globally at a fraction of a cost than it will cost them here in the US.
Wow. Nah,
Yeah.
that sounds good. That's it's a good move. Definitely a good move. Yeah.
But again, having said that though, Bill, I still have my financial business, right? I mean, I have
Right.
a ton of clients. They've been with me for 20 plus years. So I cannot just leave them. So I just manage them, you know. I still do my annual reviews with them. They've been with me for all these years. So yeah, so that's what I do.
Nah, that sounds
Yeah.
good. Walter, seems like you got something on your mind. What you got
No,
cooking over
man,
there?
I'm just listening to it, and how how did you the virtual assistance piece, Nefty? How did you come to that, man? I mean, you woke up one day 3 o'clock in the morning and figured it out, or did you just feel a void? Did you say, "Hey, man, how did you come to that?"
Well, business is very simple, right?
Hmm.
You think about what people needs, and you
Right,
fill that
and
need.
you feel
That's
that need,
business.
right, right. That's all it
Supply and
is.
demand all day long. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's business, right?
Right.
Hmm.
What's the challenge? What's the
Right.
problem? And how I can solve that problem. That's all I
Okay.
did, really.
Hmm.
All right. So
You
Nefty,
know,
there was someone that put in the chat, how can I get a job? So Sharon Jackson's in the chat asking how can they get a job. So
get a job.
do you have to be in the Philippines to work for you, or is it something
Yeah,
that
yeah. Because this is why, right? Uh, I'm able to pay the people back home, right? Let's say this. Let's say I charge the clients for $10 an hour here,
Hmm.
right? And I pay my VAs $5 an hour in Manila, in the
Hmm.
Philippines. Now in the Philippines world, $5 an hour is big.
Sure.
That's tremendous money back home in the Philippines, right? That's why they love working for us. But $5 an hour in America, that's
Yeah.
nothing,
That's not even
that's a
minimum
fight.
wage, right?
Yeah, that's a
Is that
right?
fight.
minimum
Yeah,
wage?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I got
That's
Yeah.
a,
you. That makes sense. That makes sense.
you know what I'm saying, Bill.
Hmm.
So that's why all the VAs are back in the Philippines, right?
Hmm.
Now, Nefty,
Yeah,
I do have people that actually that subscribe to my channel that are
yeah.
followers that are in the Philippines. So how can a person that's in the Philippines, do you put it in the paper there, or do you just walk around? I mean, how do you get their attention?
In the beginning, we did that, Bill. We had to, put on LinkedIn, for example, right, or
Mm.
Facebook, right.
Hmm.
But now, I mean, no kidding, Walt. I have about 300 application right now in
Wow,
my
wow,
inbox. Yeah,
Wow.
wow. That's
Wow.
yeah,
good.
yeah. Because again, right, we pay the VAs very, very well in the Philippines. Right, we treat them right, we love on them, right, and we have
Hmm.
amazing clients,
Mm.
Right.
right. So it's a win-win-win, right?
Right.
Right.
It's a win for the VAs back home because they can work from home.
Hmm.
Traffic in the Philippines is insane.
I've
Oh,
heard.
wow.
I've
Okay.
heard. I've
Well, I
heard.
mean,
So,
we're in the DC area. Can it be worse than
No,
the
no,
DC
no. It's
area?
10 times. It's times
Bill,
10. Yeah,
it's
What?
it's
10
10
times. Bill,
times.
it's 10
Yeah.
times that. Bill, it's 10
Oh
times that.
man, come on. Wow.
It is
Okay.
10 times that. I drive when I go home. I drive
Mm.
10 miles. It can take me 2 hours to drive 10 miles.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Well, okay.
Oh yeah, brother, it's
Yeah.
crazy back home.
So
Did
giving them
you?
a way to work from home is like
Oh my gosh,
that right there is a raise in itself. Yeah, I got you.
Teaches
Okay.
you patience
they
too.
all work from home. The only thing is this, right? I mean, they work from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. Philippine time,
Right. So
Hmm.
it's like 12 hours or 14
12 hours.
hours
Right.
different.
and
Hmm.
Yeah.
and that's
Okay.
8 a.m. to 6 p.m. my time in DC.
Right, right. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, and again, we have clients West Coast, Mountain Time, Central Time, everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So, give us an example. I'm a Give me an example of one, what qualifications your VAs need, to do what they do, and two, give me an example of how I can use your business. I'm in Washington D.C. Uh, you know, give me an example of how I can utilize your services.
Again, Walt. all our clients, right,
Hmm.
are business owners.
But no particular business, no,
No,
just
I
kind
have
of all over the place. Okay.
uh, most of my clients are in network marketing space
Okay.
because I came from that industry, right?
Oh,
I
really?
was
Okay.
in, yeah, I mean, I was building Amway in the Philippines back in 96.
Wow.
Mm.
Okay.
We
Okay.
brought Amway to the Philippines back in 96,
Right, right,
Okay.
right.
right? And then in 2007, I built another company called ACN here in US, right?
Very familiar with ACM,
Yeah, my wife
ACN,
and
and
I,
Five Links and all that stuff.
yep,
Very familiar with them. Right.
we put about 1,000 people in 10 months in that business world,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
doing it the old fashioned way,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I came from that space for many, many years. So I have a ton of contacts in that space.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So when I launched this company back in 2022, my mind is okay. You guys need a VA. Let me provide a VA to you guys so we can help you scale
Mm-hmm.
Right.
because I understand their business model
Got
Right.
you.
to the T, right? So all my VAs are trained. We have an academy. So we hired a VA. They spend a month in my academy. We train them, and then we assign a client to them.
Mm.
And again, they're all business owner, but right now we actually venturing the different space, right? I have a client in real estate. I have clients in medical field. So we have many lifestyle coaches clients now.
Mm-hmm.
So we are venturing to many different sectors now in business because again, we do a great job. Knock on
Right.
wood.
Right. Oh
No,
man.
no, Nefty, that sounds like a wonderful plan. Now, I'm gonna ask you this: having dual citizenship, if you want to look at it that way, that you think that gives you an advantage, or like you say, you took it from here and took it to the Philippines. So, is that
Bill, are you ready for this?
yes?
I've been in this country for 40 plus years. Right? I came in 82.
Mm.
So what, 43 years? I've been here 43 years.
Right.
I kept my Filipino citizenship all these years. I
Yeah.
never gave it up.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I have my green card since 1990.
Okay. Wow.
And because of that, I was able to go back home to the Philippines, launch a company, buy a property. Because again, I'm still a Filipino citizen until today.
Got you. Okay. Well, that
Okay.
makes sense. That helps it. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Because
So
if I became a citizen here, it limits me when I go back home.
right. Right. Okay.
Right? I need to have a business partner there to launch a company. Right? I don't have the option of buying a property. Right? I'm
Right.
very limited.
Got you.
But being a citizen there, the sky's the limit, pretty
It
much.
opens it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and the good thing is you're taking it back. The idea and all you're taking back and helping the people from where you originated from, if you want to look at it that way. So you're
Well,
like you said, you're helping a lot of people with the ideas of the supply and demand is here, but you can meet that demand there and help
yeah,
everybody. Everybody's getting help. Like I said, win-win-win situation. So that's cool.
absolutely. Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna pick your financial brain if you don't mind. I'm gonna go back to your finance and see what I can get out of you real quick. So what and I had a couple of questions. I threw it to you. So what's the biggest financial mistake you see people making today, and how can they avoid it? What's one of those things?
I think the biggest challenge is this, right? Especially when you're young, in your 20s and 30s. I see many people do this, Bill, Walt. They work a job, they work hard, right? They got a raise, right? Let's say from 70 they went to 80 or 90. Guess what they do?
Increase their lifestyle.
Exactly.
Pasta.
They
Mm-hmm.
they upgrade a house, they buy a
Mm-hmm.
new car, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst thing you can do.
Mm,
Right.
That raise you just earned for that new 20K,
Mm-hmm.
right? Invest that. Make that money work hard for you, right? The biggest challenge is this. Like for example, me, for example, my dad and my mom never taught me about money.
mm,
Right.
So
Taboo.
I had to seek financial knowledge on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest challenge today is people are lacking financial knowledge,
Right.
right? So yeah, that's the biggest thing, right? I mean, you always have to pay yourself first,
mm.
Mm-hmm.
right? you get your paycheck before you pay your bills, right? Pay your rent or your mortgage, your car note, right? Pay you first,
Mm.
right? Because if you don't, you will spend the money every time.
Every time, right?
Yeah.
You never get around. You never
Yeah.
get around to it, right?
Every
Yeah.
time you'll spend the money.
It's
So
true.
pay yourself first, right? Automate it from your check from your payroll, right?
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
And if your company is offering a 401k or TSP, gosh, take advantage
Max
of
it
that.
out. Take advantage of it.
Take advantage of it, right? Yeah. So that's the biggest thing, Bill. I guess people just lack financial wisdom,
Right.
right? So my advice to young folks in their 20s, in their 30s, don't worry about what other people are doing. Worry about yourself,
Mm.
because people, the other people that you're watching, are trying to, oh my gosh, John just bought this car. I'm
Right.
gonna get one. Oh my gosh, they just update from this house to that house. I want to do it too, right? Well, you can't keep doing that. Let them do what they want to do, but take care of you and your family first,
Right.
right? Because guess what? Those guys, your friends, your family, your relatives, they will not pay your bill. You pay your bills,
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
right? So pay yourself for before you waste the money somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And again, keep learning money, right? Learn about money, learn about investment, learn about taxes, right? I mean,
Ah,
right now, Bill, Walt, right? When we're in our 20s, 30s, there's no YouTube,
Right.
there's no
right.
internet, right?
Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely not.
But right now, you can learn anything you want about finance on
Right.
YouTube, on
Right.
Right.
people's podcasts,
Right.
Mm.
and it's free.
And it's free.
Yeah. That's true. No, 100%. Yeah.
And
So,
then
So
you
that,
can also get some bad information too. So how does a person who's not just they trying to find their way get, what's the safe route for them to take? If it looks
okay.
is it if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. If there's no get rich quick schemes. Is slow quarters make long dollars? What's your theory on that?
Well,
What
and
do you tell your clients?
what you saying, and Walt, that was the second question. So that was the next question. So I'm glad you hit it, but
Okay,
it's right here. So maybe it's the same one. So I'm living paycheck to paycheck.
there you
What
go.
are the first steps towards building financial security? What's the good advice to that? Because I don't have enough to pay myself. I
yeah,
mean, really. And I used to make that mistake. I know I made that mistake. And anybody know Big Jack? They say Big Jack had 1,000 jobs in his life, but every job that had 401k, when I left that job, I cashed out that 401k. I didn't I didn't roll anything over. I didn't roll it over. None of that. I took that bulk check and whatever it was, and I cashed it out, and because I needed it. It wasn't like I was saying, "Let's go
Took the
buy a car."
penalty. Took the
Yeah, I took the
penalty.
penalty and all of that because it's like I ain't
wow,
Yeah.
just because you don't know. And it wasn't until I got older and it's like, whoa, roll that thing over. But
yeah.
I'm paycheck to paycheck. So how can I get there? What advice would you give? And I know Walt was saying almost the same thing. So help us out here, Nefty. Help us out.
Well, first thing is awareness, right? You need to face the music. You have to be aware where your dollar goes every single time, right?
Yes.
I'll give you an example. How many times a family just run to Starbucks, right?
Yes.
And do 30, 40 bucks. Easy,
Yes.
right? McDonald's. Right now, Bill, I had a tea time at 7 a.m., right? So I went to McDonald's. Let me get some breakfast before I play golf.
Hmm.
Cost me $11, Walt.
Yeah.
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 I was like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, are you kidding me? Right? So first awareness.
Right.
Make sure you know and you where the money is going every single week, every single month.
Okay, then let me be the bad guy for not even the bad guy for a minute, but this is funny because the three of us are golfers, so we can relate to this. Hey, Big Jack,
Yes, sir.
whatever the tea time was at 7 o'clock, however much it cost this morning, that's what he was paying.
Correct.
But the $11 at McDonald's was a problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm the same way. And that's why it's funny, man. Just something as simple as golf, right? Something as simple as golf. Tea time golf, pass golf now. And
Yeah.
then, then there's weekend golf, and I play weekday golf. I mean, I have a problem playing the weekend when I can play the same course for half price during the week, right? But like you say, when you go at the end of the year, get your statement, and you see how much you pay in golf or lunch every day, lunch $10 at lunch every day.
Oh, yeah.
Just think about that. Just taking your lunch every day, or Starbucks every morning. It adds up. And when you do the math, it's kind of scary, man. I mean, and we've all been there. And then when you use apps like Rocket, Money, or Quicken, or QuickBooks, anything like that, and you see what's really going on, you're right, Nefty, man. You have to be aware, but you have to have hard conversations with yourself. I know I have. I'm just speaking for myself. I've had to have hard conversations with myself. And I was just telling Jack today, Big Jack, before you got on, I literally was on the phone all day with Xfinity and my alarm
Yeah.
company and my cell phone company, because you pay so many things auto pay, you kind of lose track of it. It's almost like it's not real money sometimes. And then when you go and you do an audit on yourself, it's like, whoa, wait a minute, man, this is ridiculous. And then when you call them, oh yeah, oh no problem, we can lower your bill to such so and so. Now that's nice for some people, but for me, I'm mad because you could have done this months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Years
You know,
ago.
Yeah.
Years
ago,
ago.
absolutely. But now it's
Yes.
like being in an abusive relationship. Now that I'm saying something about it, now you want
You know,
to treat me well. Now
it's
you want to do the
amazing.
right thing. Yeah.
It's
So all of
amazing.
that's
Yeah.
in play, man. So we got to be in control. And I tell you something else. And this was just what someone told to me once before. Someone told me when I was a young guy. He said, "Man, you go buy a suit, you'll go buy an outfit, you'll go buy a car, and you'll check the hemlines, you check the thread count, you check all of that, right? But you can't tell me how much you're paying or your bank is taking from you when you put your money in the bank, or how much your investments are giving you." And it's like, that's true, because we were our generation, we're in the same generation. It was taboo. Our parents didn't want to burden us with those things, and then we have a tendency to do that with our kids. And then it's like you have to have a paradigm shift in your thinking
Yeah. Yeah.
to really get there. So hey, man, I'm glad you said that, because it's so true, and it goes across nationalities. I see.
Yeah.
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 But some of the problem that I'm gonna throw it out there is when you have those things, if you and I'm if I didn't know what it was, I didn't know where it was at, I didn't see it, I didn't mess with it. And that's why a lot of times people don't go looking into what's in their 401k and what's doing this and what's doing that, because if I look and see I got an extra 10,000 somewhere, or 20,000 somewhere, or 50,000 somewhere, I'm still in that boat where I'll take the penalty. I'll take the penalty. I look at it like, by the time you get the penalty from me, I'll be passed on. So I win. I win.
Hey.
But see, that's a mindset. That's a thing.
But you got to think. I come from the generation of 25 years ago watching a pension, right? But a lot of people, the 401k follows you around your work life, and you need to manage that or have someone manage that. And 30 years from now, it's not like it's a pension sitting there with. So it's all about how this thing is matured. So when you think of it like that, Jack, you got to think, hey man, I need to have this down the road. And when you talk about exponential growth, it's a lot to think about. And just think about how many people, when the market dumped, when the market's down, they couldn't retire because their money was down. And if you have a pension, which is a thing of the past now, pretty much, except for very few professions, you don't really have that to worry about, because you still may have you say the TSP, or either deferred
401k.
compensation, or something on the side, or just an IRA. And but yeah, man, it's scary. And in the times we live in right now, when you put people in a position where they are trying to make it to tomorrow, nobody has time to think about 10, 20 years from now. And that's where we are right now as a country. So
that's the biggest problem, right? That's a challenge.
So wait a minute, Nefty, before you go to that, because Aquatic News Network made it. I'm gonna put this comment up, and we're going to talk about it real quick.
Sure.
He's saying the lack of availability of retirement is my biggest concern at 39. I started this concern in my 20s because I didn't expect there to be anything left by the time I needed it. So now you're saying, and I don't know if you can see that, and I'll put it back up, but we have that problem sometimes that, and it's almost what I was saying. You didn't think it was going to be anything there, or you didn't know what what was going to be there and how to handle it. And it's like it's so far away when you're 20s and your 30s. You don't think, now that I'm 50, it's like, man, I wish I would have, 54, but I wish I would have made better use of that money, back then. But you don't think about it because you don't see retirement. You're not looking at retirement. You're looking at the here and now. You don't see, because even right now you're saying invested, but invested in what? I mean, what's the safe investment? Where should I put it? I'm asking and I'm sure there's people in the chat want to know, where could I put it without giving us stock tips and anything like that. But where should I invest my money that it's going to be safe in a sense that I'm not going to lose it? Because I know me, I say, somebody say invested in this. Now and every day I'm looking at the paper online trying to figure out what the stock did today, and I'm driving myself crazy because it went up and then it went down and it went up. So I'm all hemmed up.
And let me ask the second part of that question, Nefty, and you can answer both of these together. Is it better, as a person who's starting out to start investing, is it better to pay your debt first and then start investing, or do them simultaneously, or what? What is your suggestion to the 20-year-old, the 20-something-year-old, or 30-something-year-old, 40-something-year-old person who's just really kind of getting their way in the game? What do you suggest to your clients? Like I said, without being too specific, because we don't want any problems with, but just generally speaking.
Well, again, right, Bill, Walt, when I was in my 20s, Bill, oh my gosh, 50s, retirement is for the old people, right? That's for them. That's not for me. I'm in my 20s, I'm in my 30s, right? But now, guess what? I'm now 58 years old.
I'm 61.
Yeah. Walt is 61. You're 54, Bill.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So if we didn't start investing in our 20s or even 30s, right, back then, is it too late? 58, 61, 54? Maybe it is, right? Or maybe it's not. It all depends. But it's always great to start investing and saving when you're younger, right? That's why it's called legacy planning. That's why it's called retirement planning, right? This money, that's why I said pay you first. That money that goes to your pay you first bucket, that's not for tomorrow, for next week, for next month, for next year's money. That's for retirement money.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Number one, you asked me about, do I pay my credit card first or before I start investing, right? First thing first, right? You have to have a rainy day money, because rain will come.
It's going to rain. It will rain.
It will rain.
And you don't know when it's going to come, Walt.
Well, as you get older, you kind of figure it out because your knees start hurting about two or 3 days early.
By then it might be too late, right? So
exactly.
If you're in your 20s, if you're in your 30s, right? Put some money aside for the rainy day, because the rainy day will happen, right?
So you hear people saying your expenses for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. What do you suggest?
I would suggest 6 months of your monthly expenses. I mean, if you can have 3 months, it's a great start.
Right.
Because people got laid off, right?
Right. Life happens. You're right.
Right. Life happens. People will get laid off. You will get, you might get ill one day. You can't work for a while. If you don't have 3 months or 6 months, what are you going to do?
Right.
Who's going to help you?
Yeah.
Right.
No one's going to help you.
Nefty, because you said to pay yourself first. Now, I'm glad that you said to use that towards investing, because I'm taking it pay yourself as when my check come, I need to put my money aside so I can go play golf. That's paying myself, because because the other part is with my 401k and all that is that's what I got for down the road. But paying myself is I'm putting money. I'm taking so much out my check so that I could enjoy when I'm off and things like that. So, is there a difference here? As we're talking two different pay yourselves?
Well, imagine this, right? When I was in my 20s and my 30s, by the time I was 32, we had 4 kids. Not 1, not 2, 4.
No cable television in the house.
No comment.
4 kids, no cable television. I understand, man. You gotta entertain
brother,
yourself. I get it.
I shake my wife's hand, she gets pregnant, bro.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, so again, Bill, when I was in my late 20s, my 30s, right? How often did I play golf?
Right.
Maybe once a month.
No, I got you.
Maybe once everything, because I cannot. It's not the right time.
Right.
I have 4 kids to worry about.
Right.
Right. So it's perspective and it's discipline, right?
Yes.
Now I'm 58 years old. I have the money to play golf now as much as I want. But back then I had to be very careful. Right. So paying yourself first is really invest that money, because one day you'll be 61, 58, and 54.
Yes. Lord willing. Yes. And I like to see 70 and 80.
So if you're in your 20s, even $100 a month, your time horizon is so, it's in your favor. You have 40 plus years to invest at $100 a month, right? If you do it now at the age of 61 or 58 or 54, it's not going to take you anywhere. It's too late. Unless you can put a big chunk every single month.
Right.
Right? But if you had challenge putting small things back in the day, guess what? Nothing changed. Right? So go ahead, Walt.
No, so at 54, 61, 58, it would be you would be in a better position to lower your expenses immediately than looking for the big long-term investment. I mean, because that's the quickest way to put money in your pocket. Would you say that, or is that true or no?
Well, again, I know me. I know my finance, right? So right now, all the kids are out of college, right? They're done with. Oh, thank God, right?
You got a wedding coming up, though. You do have a wedding coming up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now,
you know how much, Walt? You know how much wedding today?
Well, let me say this, and you can fill that in. I used to drive a limousine, and I've done maybe 2 Filipino weddings.
Okay.
And if I recall, now correct me if I'm wrong, I remember 25 sponsors on each side of the aisle. Was that true? How does that work? Explain that to me.
We're not doing that here in America. It's a big thing back home in the Philippines, right?
Okay, but I was here when I drove that wedding, and I was just like, wow, because we had to get pictures with everybody had to get pictures with the bride and the groom. But I remember that must be pretty cool because it's a huge wedding. But I guess they had some that helps, but that's not the deal with you. So talk to me. How much is that?
It's a 200 people wedding, right?
Okay.
It's gonna be around 80 to 100K.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, man. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, man. Yeah.
But
So,
is it right? I mean, I'm back, and that's taken away from the celebration and all of that. But $80,000, $100,000, give me the money, and I'll be at the justice of the peace. I mean, maybe I'm wrong,
Again, Bill, right? It's up to. I have one girl. I have 3 boys and 1 girl, right? And this girl, if no one's perfect, Walt, but she's very close.
She's right there for sure. Your daughter, absolutely, 100%.
She's very, very close.
100%.
Right now, she's a doctor, right? She got her doctorate. So, but of course, her school loan is quite hefty, being a doctor, right? Yeah. So this wedding, we're gonna pay for the wedding, right? So but again, that's something I want to do for her. That's my choice. And I just thank God that now we can take care of that now.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And And for
right?
those who are in the chat right now, and we do got a poll going right now. So it says, how financially secure are you? And I use that 0 to 25%, 26 to 50%, 51 to 75%, or 76 to 100%. How do you feel? And right now the poll is kind of even. We got 11% saying they're 76 to 100% feeling financially secure, and that's pretty good. 33% saying that they're 51 to 75% secure. So, Nefty, you just said you got a 80 to $100,000 bill getting ready to come up. So, where would you put yourself in that range? Is that a 75 to 100, or is that if
yeah, I'm doing okay right
okay,
now.
right?
But again, for many, many, many years, right? Again, 4 children, it's not cheap, Bill.
No,
You
I
guys
got
know
four.
that, right?
I got four. So yeah, I know.
So for many, many years, my wife and I, we never traveled.
Mm.
Right? If we go somewhere, it's we go to Myrtle Beach, right? Once a year. We go to Orlando once a year. So you have to be really, really careful back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
So never travel. How can I? Right?
Right.
So you just have to be disciplined. You have to have the financial wisdom on your side,
Mm-hmm.
right? To that now that I'm now 58 years old. The same, my wife is 58 years old.
Mm.
Thank God that now we can do what we want to do, and financially we're okay. But again, it's not always like that,
Right.
Right.
right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not always like that. But again, uh, all my 4 kids are very responsible. Thank God, right? They make their own money now. Nobody asks me for money anymore. Thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good security.
Mm-hmm.
They're all set, right? So
Right.
yeah, I mean, but again, it's so much better if you start young, right? If you're in your
Right.
20s, man, catch momentum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Soak up everything about finance as you can. Learn how taxes work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Learn how, okay, if I invest into my 401k, right? That's long term. Doesn't matter what the stock market will do next
Right.
week, next month, next year.
I'm
Don't
not
worry
touching
about
it.
it. Don't worry about
Right.
it.
Right.
It's long term because your time
Mm-hmm.
horizon is 30, 40 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if like for example, S&P 500, right? If you average the last 50 years, it came back about 9%,
Mm.
Right.
Okay.
right? But if you pull the money out, put it back, pull money out, put it
Right.
back,
Right.
you will not get 9%.
Mm-hmm.
You're likely to get maybe 2 or 3%, right? So if you invest the money, you leave it there for 30, 40 years. That's not today money, it's later money,
Right.
Right.
right? And that's why you just really need to be disciplined, right? That's the biggest thing, right? Be disciplined. I mean, you put away, you start with $50 a week. You start with that. And if you keep doing that for 6 months, a year, 2 years, guess what? It becomes a habit.
Now I got you.
And you
That,
say,
that
hey, if
Yes.
I can do $50 a week, maybe I can do $100 a week, right? And now you're
Mm-hmm.
winning. In your mind, okay, now I'm winning. Now I
now.
have a now I have a rainy day money for 3 months. Now I'm
Mm.
winning, right? Because if you don't have the cushion and you get ill, you get laid off, you're done. What are you gonna do?
All right. So Nefty, I got to ask
But
you this though.
we're at the age with. But
Now go ahead.
Go,
Go ahead,
go
Walt.
ahead, Walt.
go ahead, Jack. No.
Now I
I'm
was
saying we're at
saying,
the
what's
age where you got it. I got a
we're
delay.
stepping on each other.
Go.
Now we're stepping
Go.
on each other. So I apologize. So, and I'm gonna ask you this, and I know Walt got a question, but the thing is, what's too little? Like I know you just made the comment about if it's just $100. So, is where would I put $100? What like say it's costing me $30 to eat at McDonald's. So where am I gonna do with this $100? So I mean that's what you're hearing from even a young kid. So where do you want me to put this? Where could I put this that it's gonna save up for a rainy day?
Yeah, again, right. The biggest mistake people do is put that in the savings account or checking account. That money is not working for you,
Hmm.
right? If you put $100 in your savings account, Is that money making money for you? Of course not,
No.
right? So right now, for example, I taught my kids how to invest, right? If you go to Vanguard, right? Vanguard is one of the biggest out there. You know what Vanguard is, Bill? You've heard of
Yep,
Vanguard,
yep.
Walt, right? So,
Yes, sir.
if I'm in my 20s, I will open up a Vanguard account, right? It's free. There's no cost opening up an account with Vanguard. You put $100 every month or every single week, right? You invest in 3 ETF funds, exchange traded funds account, right? You will own all the stocks in America, all of it, all the good stuff in America. Without, I will give you 3 ticker, right? Three investment, all ETFs. The management cost for Vanguard is almost nothing, right? But guess what? Your $100 is making money, right? You're investing it with large cap,
right,
medium cap company, small cap company. You own every stocks known in this country or even international if you want, right?
Okay.
So that's how we do it, Bill. That $100 every month at the age of 20. Imagine in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s. Right, and of course, the more established you are, the more you can add on to that $100 a month, right? If I can do 100 a month, I can do 200 a month. I can do 300 a month. It becomes fun because you're winning.
Right.
You have to have the mindset, I'm winning. If you have that mindset, like, damn, I'm paycheck to paycheck. But if you keep doing what you're doing over and over and over, nothing will change.
Same thing.
Right.
Right? You're doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Not going to happen.
Okay. So now I do have a question, Nefty, that came up in the chat, and it says, based on, let me pull it up so we can see it real quick, and I apologize for those. It's a couple of them out there, so that's good. Right here, based on the up and down of the stock market today, if you're retired, should you be concerned? So I'm retired. My money is in a 401k or the thrift savings and all those other plans. Should I be concerned with the way the market is going up and down now?
Well, again, right, if you're retired, right, or 5 years before you retire, right, you're going to find, let's say I'm 60 years old today, Walt. I have 5 years to go.
Yes, sir.
Right? So I will still invest my money in the stock market. So I have 5 more years, but a year before I retire, that money is going somewhere else.
Somewhere else, right? That's lower your risk.
Yeah, more safe, right?
Right.
If I'm just saying, I can lose everything in the stock market.
Yes.
I have no control over that. No one does. Right? So when you're in your retirement period, your money should be safe, right? It should still make money for you, but conservatively. Mm-hmm. You're no longer investing into large cap, small cap, mid cap, right? You might be on money market or T-bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of safe vehicles.
Just trying to manage inflation, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you're retired and you're still heavily on stocks, why are you there? Whose advice did you take? Right?
Well, that's one reason why we got you on the show, because a lot of times we just didn't have nobody advisors. We just did, put it here and leave it there, and when you retire, that's what you're living off of. But
yeah, because nowadays, right? I'm 58, you're 61, Walt, you're 54. Mm-hmm. I feel great, man. I can live, maybe I hit 90. Maybe Walt will hit 90. Let's say Walt hits 90, right? You're 61. That's 29 more years, Walt.
Yeah. We're
going to do for the next 29 years if you're not smart with your money now.
Well, I look at it like this. My goal, and and I'm almost halfway, I'm about a third there. Yeah. I gave him 28 years of my life to my job. 28 years days with who's counting. Goal and everyone's goal, everyone I know who retired, our goal is to get as much time back as we gave them. Square. And then when the terms of death, unfortunately, Man, I've been going to funerals of friends who retired and never saw their first check. So regardless of how long we hope to be here or will be here, you still got to plan for the fact that you may be here. And that's the thing, man. And then you add into we're at what I was getting ready to say earlier, Bill, when we stepped on each other. I found out 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 years ago, you throw a few family medical illnesses in there with your parents or in-laws or grandparents. Hey man, it'll make you change your perspective because that healthcare, that long-term healthcare, is no joke. It's no joke.
Yep.
It's just no joke, man.
Yeah.
So, in my 50s, and just if I'm being candid here, my 50s were a blur because it was like, hey man, people who were near and dear to me that I was sort of responsible for, I had to experience that. And I'm glad I was in a position to be able to do it, but hey man, it's a rude awakening, man. It'll change your life.
Yeah.
Right.
It will change your life. And I tell anybody, man, just whatever you can do to prepare for that, be ready because it'll break your heart, man. It'll break your trust me.
Mm.
It'll break your heart if you. It'll make you really take notice of what you're doing. And that long term care is no joke. And you want to be there
Right.
for your loved ones. So
Right. No,
yeah, so
that's
yeah, that's real, man. That's a real. I
right.
mean, that's my
That's
personal
right.
experience.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So and then you don't want to be a burden. Is if we're taking care of the people down. We're in a position where we don't want to be a burden to our kids or our
Yeah.
families, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So we got to put all those things in place, maybe insurance, whatever, to do that, man. Because like you say, man, hypothetically, we could be here another 25 years, and it all whether you're here for a year, 25 years, another 30 years, it still comes down to your quality of life,
Right.
right? I mean, and not just health wise, but financially healthy. How financially healthy are you? So
Yeah.
it's a lot to think
No,
about, man.
it's a
But
good
not thinking about it, not thinking about it, just trying to ignore it will not solve the
it's not
problem.
gonna make it go away, right?
It's
It's
not
not
gonna
gonna
make
go
it go
away.
away.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
so
Yeah.
Nefty, and again, I'm not putting you on the spot in trying to you're not giving advice. You're giving advice, you're giving from your financial background and your but as far as what's your take on gold and crypto and things like that? Is that a good investment or is that it's just unknown or where we at with that?
Yeah. Crypto is just too volatile right now, Bill. It's very volatile, right? So let's say if you have a portfolio of 100%, I might do 10% there.
Mm,
That's the money you are okay if you lose that money. Yes, it's okay. It's not going to hurt you much,
gotcha.
right? So that's the money you invest into crypto. It's just too volatile right now. I,
Gotcha.
I mean, I cannot advise my client to buy crypto. I just cannot do it,
Right, right.
right? Because it's so volatile. I mean, I don't know what's gonna do, right? So and gold, hey, own 20% of gold. I mean, if you're 100%, own 20% in gold. Nothing wrong
Gotcha.
with that,
Mm,
right? Nothing wrong with that. But it's good to have diversity in your portfolio, right?
right.
Own some gold, own some silver, right? The rest properties, investment properties, right?
Mhm.
And the rest in stock market. The stock market will always win long term,
Long term. So that's
long
why
term.
dollar cost averaging. That's where that comes in. Correct.
Yeah, I mean, if you are taking advantage of your 401k or TSP, that's
Hmm.
dollar cost averaging, right? Because you're not putting the
Right.
money at one time. You're
Right.
putting it
Right. Right.
every paycheck.
Every
Right, right,
paycheck.
right.
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 Yeah, so that's what dollar
Because
cost
you'll catch the
averaging.
highs, you'll catch the
Yeah,
lows if you're
yep,
diversified. Right.
exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So again, if you're in your 20s, heck, be aggressive, right? Don't buy any CD. If you're in your 20s, don't buy any T bills if you're in your 20s, right? Be aggressive because you got time is in your favor.
Now remember, in my 20s, and you were right there. CDs were running about 15, 16%.
Yeah, well, that's back then.
I know. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, right? So it just
Yeah.
goes to show you how versed you have to be in finance
Yes.
because it was the opposite. I
Yes.
mean,
Right,
back
right.
then, you know, a CD, man, you 15, 16%, man, which was like crazy. You know, the interest rates were high, and the interest rates on CDs were high. But now, 40 years later, done a 180, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I
So
mean,
Okay.
that just goes to show you how the market changes along the way, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So Nefty, I'm a young man, and I went on vacation, and they told me to invest in this vacation property. What they call them?
Timeshare.
timeshares.
Yeah, timeshare type property.
Yeah.
So is that a good investment, or is that something I should stay away from and don't mess with that because yeah,
Bill,
you
I'll tell
said
you one
investment.
thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Run away.
Run away. Okay.
Run away.
Okay.
Yeah. Timeshare 30 years ago was great, right? But nowadays, Bill, you have Airbnb,
Mm.
and you can go anywhere in the world and use Airbnb for a fraction of a cost
Right,
of
right,
a
right.
timeshare.
Got you.
But if run away. I mean, I will just do Airbnb. I can do Airbnb in Mexico, in Europe, everywhere I go, I do
Got you.
Airbnb.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right. No, that's good info. So now help me out. Break it down for me, Nefty, on what's good debt and what's bad debt. But can you explain that to me?
Yeah.
Can
So
you break down the difference between what's good debt and bad debt in simple
if
terms? For me.
if I'm taking a loan from a financial institution, right? Because I would like to invest that money into my business to grow my business, that's a good debt, right? Because that money can help me make more money.
Okay.
If I take a loan now to invest in a property, that's a good debt. Because now I have tax write-off, I have appreciation, right? That's all great. Horrible is what? Credit cards,
Mm.
right? Credit cards, the way I use it to earn the mileage, get all the perks, right?
The perks, right?
And then pay it off every single month.
Mm.
If you don't, you're paying 24%, 20%, right? Those are bad that deal, right?
Okay.
That's horrible, right? So I guess most people, do they pay the statement every month? No, they don't. They
No,
pay the
at a
minimum,
minimum.
Right.
Right.
right? So if you have a credit card for 5 grand and you pay the minimum, when will
30
you pay it
years.
off?
30 years.
If
Never.
20.
You guess what, Walt? You will keep using it.
Well, that
yeah,
too. Okay. If you keep, I thought you meant like cut it up, stop using it.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but you keep
No,
using it. Yeah.
yeah, because you're
And
gonna keep
then,
using it.
but here's the
You're gonna keep
thing.
using
And
it.
guess what and back to my earlier point. You are using it for your gas bill, your electric bill, your cable bill, your phone bill, all those things that they're giving you auto pay. They're giving you that 5% discount if you use auto pay. Those are your monthly expenses. And if you're not covered, and trust me, man, we've all been there. And if you're not covering them, in addition to paying it, that's where we are. And the sad part is, kids in college. I mean, it's almost like you can go to college and get a credit card with no job quicker than a person with a job that's making
Yeah.
minimum wage
Oh,
can get
that's
a
the
credit
first thing
card.
they give you. I
Yeah,
mean, as soon as you walk out
and,
the dorm,
put you in
they'll
that
sign
debt,
you up for a
man.
credit
Yeah,
card, right? 100%.
yeah. And then they give you that free gift with it, which is never free because there's
Yeah.
nothing in. I found at an early age, there's nothing in. I can't afford free.
Right.
Too
Yeah.
much. More
Yeah.
expensive. What I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
so
I
yeah,
get it.
there's
Right?
nothing
It's a
free, man.
mindset, right? It's a
It
mindset.
is. It is.
So back in the day, I'm having dinner with my family, my mom, my dad, my siblings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does money come up or financial? No, we
Mm-hmm.
never talk about money. We never
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
did. We never did. It's almost like a taboo, right?
Right.
Right.
So what I did with my kids, I talk about money with my kids
Mm-hmm.
as much as I can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I am teaching them about money, right? Owning your own business, right? Side hustle,
Mm-hmm. Right.
right? If you only have a W-2, then all you do is pay taxes. All your life you're
Mm-hmm.
paying taxes.
Right.
Right.
But if you have a side hustle, guess what? Now you have a 1099. Now you have tax write-off, right, against
Right.
your income,
Right.
right? So this here, I mean, money has to be discussed with the kids from at a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
They need to know money now, not later, right? All my mentors in the past, right? Some of them are Jewish, right? Guess what they talk about on the dining table every night?
The money,
Money,
money. Yeah.
money, right? I'm Filipino. We never talk about money,
Mm-hmm.
right? In a dining table, but
So
they do every single night, right?
And that,
it's a mindset.
So how can I win, right? Right. My mom and dad never talk about money, right? My siblings never talk about money, but these guys do every single night. So how can I win,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Versus them, I cannot.
And Nefty, that's what we would. A lot of people use the term the generational curse, or breaking that generational curse. So
Yeah.
not doing what your parents did to you, but now for my
Yeah.
kids, I'm more so. And I know that it was talked about, but it wasn't talked about in a way of how to invest and things like that. We was told a lot that money don't grow on trees. I don't have any money. Saying, I'm living paycheck to paycheck or whatever, robbing Peter to pay Paul. So we didn't hear about the ways to be financial secure. We found out what we wasn't, and how bad we were, but never what's the way to out of this situation. And then a lot of times we make that one is where I'm gonna keep up with the Joneses. So if
Right.
Nefty get a new car, I got to get a new car because Nefty got a new car. And if Nefty got a new suit, I'm getting a new suit. And Nefty get new clubs, so I'm getting some new clubs. And and if you playing, and that's one of the biggest things. So Nefty say, hey, Walt say, hey, we're gonna go play at Worthington Manor. That's a golf course in Washington D.C. area for those who don't know. But Worthington Manor is almost $100 a round. And I'm like, Big Jack don't have $100 to play, but I got to hang with Walt and I got to hang with Nefty. So
Hey
I'm out
man.
there paying my $100. And I'm like,
Hey man. But here's the deal. It's
Can you
funny.
imagine, Bill, if you played horrible too?
Oh
yeah,
man. Well,
yeah.
hey, look, here's the thing. That's part of the weekend golf thing for me. Just the thought of playing $100 for a round of golf that I just paid $35 for Tuesday it makes my head hurt. It makes my head hurt, man. But let me just say this, man. Everything that we are saying is we are conditioned. It's culture. We are culturally conditioned, right? And even no matter what race you are, what nationality you are, when we were kids, we learned a lot about money. What we didn't learn from our parents, we learned about it playing Monopoly. Just something as simple as Monopoly, right? So I play Monopoly with my grandkids all the time. They enjoy it, 10 and 11 years old. But there are Monopoly games where there's no money. So you swiping your card, which in my mind says the old guy, stay off my lawn. You're kind of defeating the purpose of the lesson of Monopoly. So that money is not real. But when they're sitting there with their money on their board under the board, and you letting one of them be the banker, you're alternating who's going to be the banker today, and who's going to hold the cards, the property cards.
Property.
You really teaching that lesson, and it just makes sense. And then like especially my grandson, because when you come around the corner, if he's got boardwalk and park place, you come around the corner at your own risk. You know,
Pay
he
me.
would he paid me, man. Come on, pop, pay me. But like the fact that he has to wait to get four houses before you can get a hotel, right?
All right.
I mean, like he is, man. He is really like into like I'm not spending a dime and until I get enough money to get so he's getting that lesson
Nice.
that lesson early, man. But like I say, when you have something tangible, it's a difference than if you're just sitting there swiping your card because the card's not real. How many times have your kids told you, or maybe not our kids, or you've heard somebody say, just go to the ATM?
Yeah.
Because it's like this place that gives you free money. They don't realize until they realize or until they understand you got to have money to go get money. You know, so
Look,
and then think about the fees, man. Think about the fees. Like every now and then I get caught at an ATM that where they charge you $2.75, right?
or more, yeah,
Or more. But I mean, like, I'm not gonna sort my bank out, but I mean, well, Bank of America. Hey, look, I wouldn't have a bank account that didn't take care of my fees at an ATM. I wouldn't do business with them. You know what I mean? Because every now and then you get caught. You know, and just little stuff like that, man. I remember, man, one time adding up my ATM fees because I'm a direct deposit guy. I hate going in the bank. I hate going in the post office, right? So, you think about something as small as, forget a cup of coffee. You try paying $3 a transaction from the ATM a month, and you do the math on that, man. That's your savings right there. And we've all been there. Lord knows I have. So,
yeah.
I
Sure.
mean, just little
I've
things
been
like
there.
that,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, when you sit there and look at your finances, it'll scare the heck out of you. Or I tell you what, hang out after the 19th hole after the golf course.
Mm.
A few drinks,
Oh
some
yeah.
chicken wings, right? Not to mention your cholesterol is on the way through the sky. But I mean, those things add up, man. And you do that 2 or 3 days a week. Those things add up. So, like you say, man, you got to be mindful.
Man,
You got
look,
to be
like I
mindful,
say,
man.
the $100 round didn't include the
Oh
shirt
yeah,
I wore, the pants I wore, the shoes I had on, the clubs I used,
the gas to get me to
the mini
Frederick.
balls that I lost.
Well, you want to tell?
Yeah,
Oh, wait, man,
not
tell
the
me too
five,
much.
not the $5 golf ball that you use because it makes
Oh
you
yeah,
hit better.
because it makes you hit
And
better. That
yeah,
Pro V
yeah.
one.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so
They
yeah.
a
You
lot of
don't.
can't buy
times.
second hand. You can't buy second
They
hand
don't.
balls, man.
No,
Yeah,
no. So,
yeah,
but Walt,
yeah.
that was a good example you used, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
sitting there thinking because I remember playing Monopoly and
Mm-hmm.
playing with kids and playing myself, and when
Mm-hmm.
you're getting ready to come around that corner, you're going to hit
Yeah,
those
man.
greens. You're going to hit those green properties before you get to that dark blue property,
Yeah,
Boardwalk and
yeah,
Park Place. You don't even make purchases. I'm not gonna
yeah.
buy no property because I got to save up because I know I got to get down that row. So you start looking at your money and see, can I make it down here? And it started making you think a little bit more about how you're going to spend what you got because I got to get past this before I can start being free or frugal with my money again.
But
Go
I
ahead.
used to kill them with the railroads and the utilities, and then they figured that out because the more railroads you owe, the more money you're getting, right?
The more you own, the
Yeah,
more money
yeah.
you get.
The more,
Yeah,
right, the more you own, excuse me, I said, oh, the more you
Oh, they
own,
keep paying you.
right,
Yeah.
you're multiplying it times whatever. The multiplier is what times whatever. So it's like, and then of course they land on chance or community chess,
chest.
and take a ride on the reading and pay the owner this, that, and the third. But it took them a while to figure that out. But once they figured out the railroad game, now I don't even have that to myself. And I got to tell you, man, early on, I'm teaching them the game, but once they got a grasp on it, I'm trying to win. You know, and man, they started teaming up against me, man. They started making coalitions between themselves, and well, don't do this, don't sell them this. I'll give you. I mean, just all kind of crazy stuff. So I may have created two monsters. I don't know, but they are definitely learning
Yes.
that. And my daughter was the same way. I told her same thing: pay yourself before you pay anything else. And hey man, I used to look at her sometimes, and I'm like, it's hard to believe that I'm the one that raised you because she was just. I go out spend money on a good time, and she was tight, man. She was tight with her money. She was tight. Yeah, she was, and she's doing very well for herself. So
there,
and her
there we
husband
go.
is, so they doing. Yeah, there it is, man. But
There
yeah,
we
I'm
go.
like, this
Yeah.
can't be the same. Yeah, it's just weird, man. So
Nefty, I'm gonna ask you this: as getting a financial advisor or a financial counselor or someone, do you suggest that, or how's this? Should I just keep hanging on my own, or what time or what age should I start investing in a financial advisor?
If you don't have time to, keep up with your portfolio, then yeah, use one.
Mm.
But once you hire a financial advisor, right? Once you find the right one, just make sure it's a fee-based, right? Advisor, not a commission-based advisor,
right.
Mm.
right? I used to manage my clients' money, right, back in the day. So what I did, or what we get back then, I get 1%, right? That's my fee.
of the transactions.
Of the total amount in
Or
your
the total
portfolio, right?
Okay. Okay.
So if you have 1 million there, I get 1% a year,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I only make money when you make money,
Right.
right? Some advisors, they charge you an annual fee
Mm-hmm.
and a commission, right? So shy away from that. Find a fee-based advisor that they only make money when you make money, right? That's number one. Number two, if you have the time, you don't need an advisor. There's enough resources out there for free.
Right.
And again, right? If you open up an account with Vanguard or T. Rowe Price, whatever, right? And you just invest, you own all the stocks, large cap, small cap, mid cap, right? Own all of them, right? ETFs is the best because the fee is very, very minimal, right? Just leave the money. Don't just leave it there, Bill, for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Don't touch it.
Okay.
It will do its thing. The challenge is this. Oh crap, the market is down. Let me pull it out. Go to cash. Right? Go to cash. So guess what? Market goes back up. You miss everything.
Yeah, all of that.
Right.
And you're like, oh, the market's up again. Let me go back there.
At a higher price.
At a higher price. So you already missed out.
Right.
So when you invest your money there, just leave it alone. It's not tomorrow's money. It's not next month's. It's later money. It's retirement money, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
So
why are you looking at it? Just leave it alone. I mean, like
leave it alone.
I mean, but when I say leave it, when you say leave it alone, you're talking about don't touch it. I'm having a conversation with people like you will drive yourself crazy. You know, oh my God, such and such just happened, and I just lost $50,000. You did not lose $50,000. You have not lost $50,000. But you have not lost $50,000. You know what I mean? So just leave it alone. Don't worry yourself with it. Now, you know, once you start going to get your money, if you're in a position where I'm trying to retire this year and my 401k is my retirement and I just lost $50,000, that's real money, you know?
That's real money.
That's real money. I get that.
That can hurt you.
Yeah, that can hurt you. And it can hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
But if that's not the case, you know, there's certain things, man, it's just, I tell you what, I always like to say, I give my best advice to my friends because I didn't use it for myself.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm talking about some hard life lessons. This advice is coming off some hard life lessons, man. But you live and you learn, right? And it weren't as bad as they could have been, but I mean, they certainly could have been easier, you know. So
yeah,
I tell you,
again,
man, their fee base is big because, like you said, you can eat up all of your profits if you don't have a decent a decent advisor.
Yeah.
You know, and like you say, Nefty, you don't get offended when someone challenges you, checks your background, checks your success rate out, right? Because what did you have to do to become a financial advisor?
Take a bunch of exams,
Okay.
study, right? Take a bunch of, I mean, you just you're dealing with people's money.
But how many people out there calling themselves advisors who did not do what you did?
Well, to have the license to,
there you go.
Then you have to study, right?
Right.
You can't pass the exam without studying.
But what I'm saying is, because this is your cousin's advisor, doesn't mean this person is licensed. So we are still required to do our due diligence on who we get to manage our money.
1,000%.
And you don't take offense to that. A legitimate advisor does not take offense to that. Anyone who takes offense to that is
something is wrong.
Something is wrong. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, run away.
Yes.
Yeah, run away.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Now, they say a lot of business is handled on the golf course. So we out there playing, and I know, I mean, I can tell you this right now, and I appreciate this. At no time have Nefty come to me as a financial advisor and tried to. We just go out there to play. You know, and he might throw certain hints out there. I don't even know if he threw hints. He might say something, but he never went, you know, and tried to be trying to draw business. Like, hey, you need to come over to me and you need to, let me handle your finances or whatever. He never did that. So I appreciate that about you.
Yes.
I really do, because we go out there to enjoy ourselves, and
Yes.
and it's not about, it's not about trying to draw up business and this and that. But at the same time, if you had some info,
share it.
yeah, please, don't hold it to yourself, because, but a lot of times because we just don't, and we said it a lot on this show, we just don't know what we don't know. I just don't know, because I got it. I have 401. Like I say, I used to go from job to job, and if I left that job, I cashed out that 401k. I never rolled it over. It wasn't until I got to where I am now that I said, oh, wait a minute, not, put it in an IRA or whatever. I didn't just cash it out even when I had the opportunity. So
yeah, and the sad thing is this, right? Today's world, not many companies will offer you a 401k anymore.
Yes.
Right?
And
pension,
the ones that do won't match it.
Yeah, pension, good luck about pension, right? That only happens now if you're a state employee or Fed employee.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But back in the day, like 40, 50 years ago, they all got their pension, right?
Pensions, yes.
Now in today's world, I mean, if you get a 401k, they might give you a few percent, right? Match, right? So having said that, though, if you have a 401k and the employer says, hey, Bill, if you invest 5, I will invest 5. I'll match you at 5 and 5, right? Then heck, take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
Take advantage of that, every cent of it, right? If they're willing to put 5 in, you put 5 in, right?
Now, would you go? I mean, so they say they matching 5. Would you go over? Like, would you put in 10 if they're only matching 5?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, why not, right? If you have extra money, what would you do with the money, right? Yeah, put 10, put 15, put whatever you can.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that I do. Right? Like, my company offers me 401k, so I still got 401k, and I still got pension. I was part of that world. The pension part, I think, it fell off, but the 401k is still there. Excuse me. But
what's the match, Bill? How much they're giving you? I want to
say it's 7% of the match. Yeah. But the thing is, when I turned 50, I was able to play catch up because which was huge. And I didn't know that. All of a sudden I got a letter like, you could put more in than you could before because you're old. and now you can play catch up.
Happy birthday.
So now you can play catch up. So
yeah, 7 is big. I mean, that's a good company. They're still giving you 7.
Right. Yeah. So that's where we are. Yeah. But that was a big it's a big thing because, like I say, I'm not saying it's paycheck to paycheck, but at the same time, those are real bills. And when you're getting it, like, okay, so what's better, before taxes or after taxes? What, because I can have so much come out before taxes and so much come out after taxes. Which one is better? If there's a better.
Again, right? They have the qualified money, meaning money went inside the investment vehicle without you paying tax on it. That's called qualified money. There are non-qualified money. That means that you already paid tax on that money before you invested it, right?
Mm.
So it's good to have both buckets of money.
Got you.
Okay, like the 401k 7%. Heck, take it.
Oh yeah.
Put in 7 or more all day long, Bill. If you have extra cash, then use a different vehicle, right? For example, let's say an index universal life policy, right? Life insurance policy, index universal life. You invest money after tax. But guess what? When you retire, everything is tax-free.
Tax-free, right.
So you
pay
have...
me now, pay me later is one of the two.
Yeah, you have a bucket of money that's qualified, meaning you pay taxes later. Mm-hmm. You have another bucket of money that you've already paid tax to now, but later on, it's tax-free. So you want to have both.
Right.
Because when you retire, you will have multiple buckets of money. Mm. For your bill, you will have your pension money, that's one bucket.
Right.
You would have your 401k money as another bucket, right?
Mm.
And let's say you open up an IRA with Vanguard, that's another bucket of money.
Right, right.
Let's say you have extra cash put in a Roth IRA. Everything goes to Roth, that's tax free later on.
Gotcha.
So now you have multiple buckets of money that you can use up when you retire.
All right.
Right?
So, and I appreciate that. So, are bonds still good? What about bonds and things like that? I know when I grew up, I knew my mom had. She did. She had a bond for me. I had a bond for my sister.
Oh, a savings bond.
Savings bonds, the saving
Okay.
bonds. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm in my 20s, 30s, I will not touch it.
Mm.
You know, I will just, because again, when you're in your 20s, 30s, Bill, Walt, right? Your time horizon is so long.
So long. Yeah.
Invest in the stock market all day long.
Right.
Leave it there for 20, 30 years. And market goes down, market goes up. Don't worry about it.
Mm.
Don't worry about it. Right? It's for retirement, it's for later on. The market will do what the market does. It'll do up and down, right?
Right.
And no one can control that really. No one knows. If your advisor says, "Hey, Bill, I can guarantee you 7% return every single year," run away, right? Run away, because nobody can guarantee you the market returns, right? No one can guarantee you that.
Right.
They can tell you historical what the market did for the last 20 years. They can tell you that, right? But what it will do the next month, the next week, the next year, no one can tell you that.
No, I got you.
So if they said they can guarantee this return, run away, right? Run away. Yeah. Right. No one can guarantee you market returns.
All right, Nef, I got one more question. We're gonna go ahead and close the show out. And I truly appreciate you being on the Sharpening Iron show and all the knowledge you shared with us today. And all of that. And of course, a dear friend of me. So anytime I love being able to just talk to you just on the regular, going out and hitting the golf balls and all that other stuff. And Walt, his son is a professional golfer, so
remember the first time I met Nefty, we rode together at Glade Valley, and he told me about his son then, man, and he was telling me about how all the tournaments he used to go to, and that's been about 3 years, maybe, right?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Yeah, well, maybe 2 or 3 years.
He could have gone pro, but he didn't because he got married very young.
Okay.
Before he left for college, Walt, right? His coach said, "You want to go pro? No babes, no beer."
Yeah, good look at that.
Yeah.
We got married very young.
Yeah.
So
I want them both. I want them both, so you can't have that. Yeah.
He still plays. I mean, he can go out to cluster and shoot par.
Wow.
You know.
Right.
Yeah. Until now, yeah.
I mean, you think when he was in high school, he used to practice at Worthington Manor?
That's the home course.
That was the home course. I remember having that conversation. I'm like, man, no wonder I'm out here shooting 91.
So 2 of my boys played for Tuscarora High School. So that was I was there for 8 years at Warrington Manor.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah.
It's funny. I got a son that's getting ready to go to Tuscarora. So yeah, we're gonna see.
Okay.
Yeah,
my son was the first golfer from Tuscarora who went to state champ twice.
Oh wow! Congrats.
He was the first one. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Nefty, man, we're going to get out there and play golf. We definitely, the three of us, going to have to get out there and play some golf. But I really, I rode in the cart with you for 4 hours, and I don't think, other than, hey man, this is what we do or have done. In my case, we didn't talk money, so I appreciate you sharing all of the information, especially since I was getting ready to go outside, dig up that coffee can, take all my money, move to Alaska, and buy an ice cream truck. So I figured, man, the ice cream truck in Alaska would have been a big hit, but now you're telling me that's not a good move. So I appreciate you on that, man. So thank you very much.
I think that's the wrong hustle. I think that's the wrong hustle.
Man, I'm just, in my mind, I'm going to go dig the money up out of the yard, move to Alaska, and get an ice cream truck. You know what I mean? I mean, it seems like a pretty good thing, man. I mean, people
there we go.
They need ice. Yeah, Figured that'd be a good
Yeah.
hustle, man. But you're telling me don't do that, so I'm gonna rethink my plan now, man. So
Yeah.
there it
Yes,
is, man.
sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Yeah.
sir.
there it is.
Nah,
I appreciate you on that,
look,
man. Thank you so much.
I thank him. I'm really thanking him because that what they say, pay yourself first. I was just using that for golf money.
You got to be real specific, nephew. You got to be real
I wasn't put
specific.
I wasn't putting that money. That look, and look, I
Oh
pay
my
myself
God.
pretty good too. I like shit.
Well,
See, that's not a
I,
problem, huh, Jack?
Yeah, I got
again, Bill, right? I think in today's world, right, the challenge with this with America is amazing. I love
Hmm.
this country. I love this country. I raised my 4 kids in this country, right?
mm,
The challenge is the system is not so good because they always want to talk about selling you something. You turn TV on, they want to sell you something.
right.
You go on your phone, they want to sell you something, right?
No, you're right.
So they teach you to just keep on
Be
working and paying your
consumers.
bills. Yeah, absolutely. And everything is instant.
Hmm.
Everything is
Yeah,
instant,
yeah.
right? So the Chinese, right? The Chinese always thinks long term, right?
Yes.
That's just a mindset.
Hmm.
They're thinking about 50 years, 100 years, right? That's how they think,
Right.
right? Here, they think about tomorrow, next week,
Hmm.
where we go in this summer for vacation, right?
The next news cycle. Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
it's a mindset thing.
Hmm.
So for your audience, Bill,
Mm,
if they have young kids, right, start talking about money in the dining table,
right.
right? You go on dining table, put your phone away. No one's, confiscate all the phone. Phone goes in the box, right? Let's talk,
Mm,
right? Talk about money. Talk about investing. Talk about, if I give you $50 a week, what are you gonna do with it? I'll give you about
mm,
$100 a month. What are you gonna do with it, right? So you start educating the kids about money, about investing,
right.
about taxes, right? It might be boring for them in the beginning, but they'll get used to it.
You'll get
They
used
will
to it.
start to enjoy, kind of like playing Monopoly Walls with your grandkids,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Same thing, same
Hmm.
thing. But that's how you stop the generational curse that, hey, you know what? It's time to stop this nonsense. Let's talk about money. What are you
Mm.
gonna do?
Now,
I'll give you I'll give you $100 a month. What are you gonna do with it? Right? And there's so much resource out there now for free. There's no more excuse, right? There's no more excuse.
Yeah,
If
we
that makes
have
sense.
more information at our fingertips, and but with that comes bad information too. So you really have to know enough to know what you know. But again, I just remember my father always telling me, man, just slow and
Yeah,
steady, and
yeah,
just just slow and steady, and then it worked,
yeah,
and then
yeah. I mean,
it worked. So
again, Walt, right? If it's too shiny, it's not good.
yeah,
Don't, if
yeah.
it's too shiny, don't
yeah,
don't chase it. If it's too
I didn't say
shiny, right?
everything that glitter is not gold.
hey man,
100%.
No,
hey
Yeah,
if
man,
it's if it's
yeah,
if it's too shiny, pass on it,
yeah,
man. No,
yeah,
it's not for me. It's not for.
yeah.
It sounds great, but it's not for me,
Yeah,
right.
and then
right?
what you eat doesn't make me go to the restroom, so to speak. So yeah, you got to live for yourself. You got to know, and then peer pressure. And in this day of the internet, we had this conversation. What Sunday night, right, Jack? Yeah,
Yeah,
Sunday
yeah,
night. Because we had some young guys on. You get caught up in the peer pressure, man, and next thing the internet is undefeated, and people are showing you their best pictures and the best days, and that in their filtered pictures, and you starting to
Yeah.
think, man, you behind the eight ball. Yeah. So,
mm.
Nefty, man, thanks again, man. I really appreciate you, man. We're gonna have to continue this down the road, but thank you so much, man.
Oh yeah.
It's a great
Hey,
conversation. Yeah,
thanks for having me, Bill. Thank you so
Oh
much for
no,
the invite.
no, and look, yeah, anytime, 100%. I mean, I'm glad you allowed me to pick your brain, and you came on the Iron Sharpening Iron show, and you allowed me to talk with you and answer some of the questions that came up in the chat, and it's needed. And the last question that I had for you, you pretty much answered it right there, and that's start talking to your kids at the dinner table. Start
Yeah,
working with them. The thing was, what one financial principle or habit every person should start practicing today. And you said it without me asking a question, and that was perfect, because I know I've talked to my sons before, but we talked a lot of the do nots and not so much what to do. And so, and that's where I need to maybe flip the script some, and I know Walt talking about like the debit cards and all, but
yeah,
we were talking to our kids about checkbooks. Just because you got checks don't mean you got cash. So you can't keep writing checks. So, and that was one of the biggest things, right? One, they didn't know how to fill out a checkbook, because that's something they don't even teach. But then the other thing is, not just having the checkbook, but then you had to have the, the balance book with it. So you can, if you put something in, you add it. If you took something out, you need to take it away. But you're like, oh, I got checks, so I got plenty of money. No.
Oh man,
checks.
and floating checks and kiting checks, man. That's a felony, man. So I mean, heck, think about how many people used to do that back in the day.
But you see,
you write a check at 4:30 on Friday and try to run to the bank by Monday morning. Yeah.
I did that.
I did it too.
I did that.
But those days are gone, because I mean, the systems have got much better, because as soon as you write that check, they're already checking it and cashing it.
Oh my gosh.
But we've been down that road. So Nefty, again, you've been huge, and I want you to have a safe trip down to Georgia with your family. Congratulations on your son and his big announcement he's going to make. Hopefully they're not watching the show, so we spoiled it.
I don't think so, Bill.
Spoiler alert, man. Spoiler alert.
But at the same time, once you get back from the Philippines, we get you back on the show. You can tell us how it went. And we're going to definitely be sharing this with all the people that support this channel, but that's also live in the Philippines. There's a lot of people that support the channel, and maybe their application is in your box right now, so they might be one of your next employees. So that's what's up, and that's cool.
Again, the biggest thing is this, right? People need to start winning again, right?
Yes.
Even small wins, right?
Small wins, yes.
Putting away $50 a month, that's a win. Having a 1 month discretionary income, that's a win, right? You start winning small, because guess what? You are that will become a habit, right? And the habit will make who you are long term, right? So you start winning. Because most people always talk about being defeated, right? It's all about negative. Small wins becomes a habit.
Well, no one got into this hole all at once, right? Whatever hole you're in, you didn't get there overnight. You're not gonna get out of it overnight. But I just remember this, man, and I'm going. This is my last comment. No, really. I just remember, like, the money that it's like skins game in golf. It's the skins game in golf, right? Whoever gets the par between the three of us gets the dollar, right? But if you get a par and Big Jack gets a par, nobody gets paid.
Yep.
It's a push.
It's a push. But sometimes, man, me saving that dollar is bigger than me getting a dollar on the skin. You think about it. Think about how many times you say, man, we saved the church some money, man. I mean, I felt like, man, like I saved the dollar. Because I was going to have to pay. Right. But the fact that I don't have to pay that dollar, man, I sometimes feel better than me earning a dollar on the skin. Like the fact that you guys are sitting there having to fight, and I'm over here with a 6 on my card, and you guys have 2 pars, but you cancel each other out, because with a 6 on my card, I know I'm paying somebody, right? So the fact that you 2 guys on the front porch wrestling, and I get to come in the back door and take the girl out to the movies while y'all out front fighting each other, squabbling on the front porch. That's what it is, man. So sometimes, to save money sometimes is like earning money. Like you said, those are your small wins, man. So
you don't even realize that you're rooting for the other person now. Like, man, I hope you get this par. I hope you get this par.
Man, please get this putt, buddy. Please get this putt.
I got you.
Last thing, gentlemen, before I go, okay?
Yeah.
I've seen this with my clients over the years, right? If you're not making it now, right? don't blame anybody else. It's on you. If you're not making it, it's on you. Don't blame mama. Don't blame your dad. Don't blame anybody. You are where you are today because of one person only. It's you.
Right.
Right. So stop blaming.
That's right.
Right. Wake up. Stop blaming anybody, and just keep fighting. You just move on and start winning. Blaming people will not help you.
No.
Period.
Right.
It will not help you. So stop blaming people. Stop blaming your mom and dad or your siblings, right? Or your uncle and your aunt. You are where you are today because of you. Period.
That's true.
You know. So I will live with that, Bill.
Hey,
I hope that's okay. I hope that's okay.
Nah, you're good. look, I'm sitting there thinking, wait a minute now, because I know my mom put the cable bill in my name when I was a baby. So I'm blaming her for my bad credit. But look, hey, Jack, I know my mom is listening, and she know I'm joking. I am joking. Everybody out there, I am joking.
But hold on. But that's a true story for so many people, man.
That is a true story, but I am joking.
I mean, and sometimes there's a lot of truth in comedy, man. Yeah, it's like, man.
Oh my God.
My mom did not put my name or the cable in my name, but there are a lot of parents who have invested people up.
But again, that's a minor issue, right? That's a small thing, right?
Yeah. No,
I'm talking about the big thing, right? Big things, right?
Well, that's hilarious, man. Hey, gentlemen, man, I appreciate you guys, man.
Hey, Neff, I'm gonna ask you I'm gonna end this show. I'm gonna ask you to hold tight, right? I'm gonna pull you behind stage. I'm gonna ask you to hold tight real quick if you can.
Okay.
And then we're gonna end the show. So we're going to pull you back off behind the stage. And I definitely thank you again for being on the Iron Sharpening Iron show. And it's been a blessing and a pleasure. And we'll be talking to you in a little bit. All right? All right. Yep. All right. Well, I'll hold you back. All right. So we're going to thank you all for being here on the Iron Sharpening Iron show. It's been a real, it's been a blessing. It really has been a blessing. I truly thank Nefty Mendiola for being out here with us and all that he has done. And all the knowledge that he's dropped on us with our finances. So, like I say, take care of yourself. Start talking to your kids. Start talking finances around the dinner table or wherever you find yourself eating, because it's important that we get this word out and break these generational curse when it comes to our finances. I just got one thing I want to share with you before we go. I got an email today from Surviving Together, which is Mac's channel. And she is looking for us to help her get to Canada, Vancouver, Canada, for a book signing and book. She wrote a book and they invited her out there. So I'm going to be dropping that information in the link in the chat here with the links, so that if you want to support her and help her, you're more than welcome. She was a guest on this show and she said, hey, if we can drop it. So I'm dropping that information and it will be in the links in the description of this show. So if you want to help her out, please do, and I'll drop that. So, but I thank everyone who's been here helping with the Iron Sharpening Iron show. B, thank you for being behind the scenes and helping as much as you can. Everyone that was in the chat and all your comments, we appreciate you. We'll tune in Sunday, which is Father's Day, and we'll have Sharon Christian on and maybe some other surprise guests. We'll see how it go. But until next time, we thank you all for being here. We ask you to stay blessed, have a good week, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.